You have made a very important and rewarding decision to become a part of the Kids and Culture Camp team. The purpose of Kids and Culture Camp is to provide high-quality, affordable, fun, educational, and culturally enhancing activities for children. Kids and Culture Camp provides educational programming in an effort to introduce children to international affairs at an early age. Our camp staff and volunteers work cooperatively to provide a safe, structured environment where children will gain a greater knowledge and appreciation of themselves and the world around them. Since its inception in 2010, Kids and Culture Camp has received an overall rating of excellent from both parents and staff members. Although safety is our #1 priority, at KCC, campers have so much fun while they are learning. Their parents enroll them year after year. Each staff member is charged with the awesome responsibility of upholding the high standards of safety and professionalism while making each week a pleasant, memorable experience for KCC campers. All camp staff, volunteers, special guests, and instructors are asked to sign a staff expectations and code of conduct statement as a condition of your service, with the understanding that serious misconduct, violations of the established rules and regulations may result in termination from the camp. Ultimately, each staff member is responsible for his or her own behavior, and when necessary, the camp director or assistant director will determine whether the terms of this agreement have been violated and will send a staff member home, revoke their camp privileges, or terminate any relationship with the camp. At the conclusion of this video, read the staff expectations and code of conduct carefully. If you agree to abide by the terms therein, sign your name and date it and return it to your camp director. In order to maintain the safety of all campers, Kids and Culture Camp staff members must adhere to the cell phone and other electronics policy. Personal cell phones must be kept on silent, mute, or vibrate during camp hours and may only be used if they relate to camp business or the welfare of a staff member's family. Texting, accessing social media, use of cell phones, and other electronics during camp time is strictly prohibited, except for breaks. KCC's dress code is strictly enforced. All camp staff are expected to wear their Kids and Culture Camp t-shirts daily. Shorts and skirts may not be more than 1 inch above the knee. Clothing with holes or offensive language or graphics are also prohibited. For your safety, closed-toed shoes must be worn at all times, with the exception of water play. Campers will have fond memories if staff members are agreeable, friendly, and approachable, are fair, consistent, and maintain order, if they are supportive, understanding, and kind, are not overbearing, bossy, or rude, are optimistic no matter what the situation may be, if they are prepared in advance and participate in all activities, do not show favoritism, and never complain about the rules or the weather. Our campers look forward to each day at KCC. Therefore, your timely arrival and presence for the duration of the camp is expected. However, in the event that you are unable to report for duty or if you are running late, please notify the camp directors as soon as possible by calling the main camp number. The directors are available to receive messages and phone calls 24 hours a day while camp is in session, including weekends. Camp staff designated to assist with before camp should arrive no later than 7:15 a.m. Parents will be dropping off their children at 7:45. Camp staff designated to assist with the regular camp hours should arrive between 8:15 and 8:30 a.m. Parents will begin dropping off their children at 8:45. Upon entering the campsite, report to the camp office to sign in, check for schedule changes, confirm daily assignments, and check your mailbox. At the end of the camp day, remember to report to the camp office to check your mailbox and sign out. Failure to sign in and out and enter the correct time may result in errors in reporting time and attendance, which will affect your weekly pay. Please check with the directors to confirm your assigned hours. All staffers, including volunteers, must adhere to the time and attendance procedures. CPR and first aid training is generally offered for camp staff every 2 years. Staff who have previously been trained in CPR and first aid are required to submit a copy of their certification to the director. Background checks will be conducted on all camp staffers and volunteers 18 years of age or over. Very limited exceptions apply. Please adhere to the following general safety guidelines. Be present and attentive at all times to monitor the safety of each camper. Be immediately available in an emergency situation. Count your children often, including whenever you leave one area and arrive at another. Be aware of potential safety hazards. Stand in a strategic position so that you can see all campers that are in your care. Focus on the positive rather than the negative to teach children what is safe. Supervise to prevent injury and harm. Ensure that all children can be seen and heard at all times, especially while they are sleeping. Establish and communicate clear and simple safety rules. Count children on a regular basis. It is each staff member's responsibility to know how many children are in their care at any given time. Directors will randomly ask camp staffers to provide the number of children in their care. Count every time you are leaving an area and recount upon entering a new one. Switch counting responsibilities among staff members. Check and childproof your classroom daily before children enter. Wipe down surfaces that are dirty and notify the camp director if the janitorial staff should be notified. Clean and sanitize surfaces as needed throughout the day. Observe equipment while children are playing to ensure that it is safe. Ensure that toys and play equipment do not have sharp edges, points, small parts, pinch points, chipped paint, splinters, or loose nuts or bolts. Ensure that all painted toys are free of lead. Wash and sanitize toys that are mouthed. Children are not permitted to play with any type of plastic bags, latex balloons, or latex gloves or vinyl gloves. Ensure that all toys are too large to fit completely into a child's mouth and have no detachable parts to cause choking. Ensure that children under 6 years of age do not have access to coins, safety pins, marbles, beads, or other similar objects. Ensure that shooting or projectile toys are not present. Ensure that commercial art materials are stored in their original containers out of the children's reach. Ensure that all rugs, curtains, pillows, blankets, and cloth toys are flame resistant. Ensure that protrusion, such as nails or bolts, are not present. Ensure that 5-gallon buckets are not accessible to infants and toddlers. Ensure that all cleaning supplies are stored properly out of the reach of younger children. During indoor and outdoor playtime, staff must walk around the play area, closely watching and monitoring each camper. Staff should not huddle together to chat or use electronic devices. Indoor and outdoor playtime is not a break time for staffers. Small children can drown within 30 seconds in as little as 2 inches of liquid. Therefore, be very diligent whenever children are around or participating in an activity that involves water. During water play, campers are not allowed inside the kiddie pools. The pools are used for refilling water toys only. Camp staff shall take cellular phones on field trips on and off campus for use in emergency situations and to answer calls from the camp office. Cell phones and other mobile devices may also be used to take pictures and notes related to camp activity, subject to the staff's cell phone and other electronics use policy. Remember to count campers before leaving the campsite, upon arrival to your destination, during the scheduled program, before boarding the bus, and again once you return to the camp location. Staff and campers must wear their camp t-shirts at all times, especially on field trip days and when crossing any streets. If a camper is without a camp t-shirt, he should be sent to the camp office to obtain a loaner before he is permitted to go on a field trip or cross any streets. KCC has adopted the more than one rule. Children should be protected against sexual abuse by limiting situations in which a staff member, volunteer, other adult, or another camper is left alone with a child without an additional adult present. In other words, staff must be careful to limit situations where they are in a room alone with a camper. The following is a non-exclusive list of prohibited caregiver behavior. Number 1, corporal punishment, including beating, hitting, spanking, shaking, pinching, excessive exercise, exposure to extreme temperature, and other measures producing physical pain. Number 2, withdrawal or the threat of withdrawal of food or forcing of food, rest, or bathroom opportunities. Number 3, profane language or verbal abuse, threats, or derogatory remarks about the child or a child's family member. Number 4, any form of public or private humiliation, including threats of physical punishment. Number 5, any form of emotional abuse, including rejecting, terrorizing, ignoring, isolating, or corrupting a child. And number 6, binding or trying to restrict movement or enclosing in a confined space, such as a closet, locked room, a box, or similar cubicle. Staff members will have 15 minutes of paid break time every 4 hours in addition to a lunch break of 30 minutes. If a staff member recognizes that he or she or a colleague is stressed and needs help, the camp director or assistant directors should be notified to help facilitate a break as soon as possible. All staff, volunteers, and children should wash their hands upon arrival for the day or when moving from one child care group to another, before and after eating or handling of food, playing in water that is used by more than one person, diapering, using the bathrooms or assisting a child's use of the bathroom, handling bodily fluids from sneezing, wiping, and blowing noses, wiping mouths or from sores, mucus, blood, or vomit, handling pets and other animals, playing in sandboxes, and cleaning or handling garbage cans. If a child is injured, camp staff must make every effort to assist the child by bringing her to the camp office to see the nurse on duty, utilizing the first aid kit to clean wounds, providing ice by calling 911 in case of extreme emergencies, and notifying the camp director immediately. Many of our camp staff members are also CPR and first aid certified and can assist in an emergency situation. A volunteer nurse or healthcare professional is usually on site 2 to 3 days a week. Anytime a child sustains an injury or becomes sick, camp staff must complete an accident and illness report form. These forms are kept in the camp office. Once the form is completed, make a copy. Give the original to the camp director, and the other copy must be sent home with the camper. Strict adherence to this policy is required to protect you as a staff member from potential liability and also the camp. Camp staffers are not authorized to give any camper over-the-counter medication or prescriptions. Parents are asked to refrain from bringing non-essential over-the-counter medication, vitamins, or supplements to the camp. With the exception of EpiPens and other inhalers, all medication or vitamins should be administered before camp begins. Campers requiring an inhaler or EpiPen must state that information on their camp registration form in the medical information section. If medication must be given during camp hours, parents should be directed to speak to a camp director. Staff members should also refrain from bringing non-essential medication and vitamins into the camp building. If such items are brought inside, they must be stored in a locked box or other secure location out of the reach of campers. Due to allergies, KCC is a nut-free program. This includes tree nuts. If a camper brings snacks or lunches containing nut items, please remove those items from the camper immediately, place them in a plastic bag, label the bag with the camper's name, bring the items to the camp office, and sign the "My Camper Brought Nuts Today" sheet. The camper's parents will be notified and reminded to adhere to the nut-free policy. Camp staffers are also prohibited from bringing nuts into the building. It is important that campers act in a respectful manner towards each other, themselves, and camp staff. While we understand that some children have a natural tendency to test the limits of compliance in many situations, we believe that there are certain standards to which our campers must be held. We use a red, yellow, green, and blue light system as a positive discipline model. This system positively reinforces camp expectations and helps each camper to recognize when their behavior is improper. Disruptive or inappropriate behavior will be handled as follows. All campers start every day on the green light. When uncooperative behavior occurs, a classroom teacher will intervene immediately and discuss possible solutions to the problem with the camper. If the behavior occurs after one warning or more, the camper's name is moved to yellow and a 5-minute timeout is given. If the behavior occurs after a second warning or multiple warnings, the camper's name is moved to red. At this time, a 10-minute timeout is given. If the behavior persists after a third warning or multiple warnings, the camper's name is moved to blue. The camper will lose 10 minutes of special activity time, and a note will be sent home to the camper's parents. By law, camp staff are required to report evidence or suspicion of child abuse or neglect. If you suspect child abuse or neglect, it must be reported to the camp director immediately to ensure that the proper authorities are notified. If a child is a threat to himself or others, call 911 immediately and notify the camp director. The staffer who observed the behavior should record their observations in writing and be prepared to share this information with the appropriate authorities. Parents can inform the camp staff if their child has a birthday, and acknowledgments will be made during the morning meeting. Due to food allergies, parents are not permitted to bring food items to the camp for birthday celebrations. The safety of our children is our number one priority. In order to protect children from any potential danger, we ask all families to monitor items that their children bring to the campsite. Dangerous items, including toys depicting violence, toy guns, knives, or swords, are not permitted. If such items are found on the campsite, camp staff should remove the dangerous items from the child and report the incident to the camp director immediately. The parents of the child will be called and arrangements made for an immediate pickup, depending on the severity of the situation, and the camp director will discuss the matter with the child's parents. Making sure that each classroom is colorful, full of visuals, inviting, and well decorated is a KCC tradition. All teachers are tasked with the responsibility to uphold KCC's high standard of excellence, even when it comes to classroom decorations. Preparing lesson plans, researching the countries or cultures of focus, completing weekly overviews, and ensuring that each camper goes home with a portfolio of his work at the end of the week are all vital to each teacher's preparedness and contributes to the camper's overall positive KCC experience. As a member of the Kids and Culture Camp team, you are charged with the awesome responsibility of making each week a pleasant, unforgettable experience for each camper. Are you ready to embark on the next cultural journey? It's time to get out of your seats and have a little fun. Every staff member must learn the Kids and Culture Camp chant. Returning campers know the chant, but new campers will depend on you to teach it to them. The chant is often recited during Festival Fridays, on field trips, and on the playground. So get out of your seat and on your feet and listen up.